Good evening, everyone. My name is Andrew Kearns, and on behalf of the Board of Education and our Superintendent of Schools, I'd like to welcome you to our Greyhound Gala here this evening. I'd like to ask you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing as members of our instrumental music program perform the national anthem. Clearly, we forgot to put something on the stage. We'll do our best. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. When I was here this afternoon with the custodians and we were taking the podium out of the closet, I remember thinking, I have to come back and get that flag and put it on the stage. And clearly the rest of the night's going to go much better, I am sure. Tonight is a special evening. Often, we focus on the problems and what is wrong. As a result, what we often miss is the fact that so much is right and there are so many good people in our world. Tonight we're going to acknowledge some of these good people here at our school and give our teachers the opportunity to recognize these students. These students are part of what makes Northern Burlington Middle School a special place to be. And before I turn the program over to our teachers, I want to extend some thanks to some individuals and some groups here that helped make tonight possible. First of all, members of our instrumental program here, they serenaded us before the program, and then our pledge, or excuse me, the national anthem. A round of applause for them and their outstanding work. Under the direction of Mrs. Hughes. I want to thank my secretary, Mrs. Harrison. I think she's lurking up there around the corners. The fact that you have programs in your hands, certificates to distribute this evening, you got invitations, you had someone to RSVP to, that's all her hard work, and thank her for doing that. And a round of applause for her. Thank you to the members of our school climate committee. This afternoon, the flag was my fault. The rest of the nice setup, that was all they're doing, the tablecloths, the refreshments, and so on. They were to collect those items after school and make this a nice evening for you. So I want to thank them as well. A round of applause. And finally, I want to thank the parents in the audience for the privilege and the opportunity to work with your children every day here at the middle school. So with that, and final thanks, I want to introduce our first teacher, our first presenter, Ms. Katrina Gearman. Ms. Gearman.
A good leader leads by example. Throughout the course of this year, I watched my nominee develop into a good leader. She modeled through example. She guided others to become more efficient. She dedicated time to help her fellow students. She stepped in when there was no one else to get the job done. The yearbook is a task that requires many hours of work. It requires time beyond the school day and a willingness to work outside of your comfort zone. Not only did my nominee complete yearbook tasks such as writing stories, interviewing students, writing captions, and taking pictures, but she also took a leadership role with our photojournalism crew. She trained the students in photography and writing, led their weekly meetings, and guided them to become better journalists. Thank you, Abigail Gunther, for your commitment to the 2018 yearbook. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Janet Adams to announce our next nominee.
Good evening, everyone. Even after 34 years of teaching, it amazes me how much a student can impact my day simply by being genuine, caring, and kind. It makes a big difference when a positive person walks into our rooms and makes an impact on our lives as teachers. My Greyhound Gala nominee secured her spot in my heart when she dropped her things to help a new student struggling with the strange ways of moving to a new country, a new language, and making new friends. She is thoughtful, selfless, and an all-around great individual. Her grades are simply one reflection of how talented she is. I believe there is no better feeling than doing well while you're doing good. My Greyhound Gala nominee for 2018 is Abigail Young. I'd now like to introduce Mr. Justin Faust.
This student started off the year in my class extremely quiet and shy, but throughout the year I've seen her confidence grow, and she was able to show how smart, funny, and charismatic she really is. She is intelligent beyond her years, and I can only imagine what great things the future holds for this student going forward. And just to throw it out there, I didn't nominate her for my Greyhound Gala because of her great first name. My 2018 Greyhound Gala recipient is Hannah Wellman. Next up is Miss Danielle Andrula.
All right. My Greyhound Gala nominee is an individual who's very friendly and can always put a smile on someone's face. This student is very mature and intelligent. In conversations with him, I oftentimes find that I have just as much to learn from him as he does from me. In the classroom, he is always willing to take assignments to the next level, really diving deep into concepts and ideas that are presented to him. He is always very curious and eager to know more about any given information. He is an extremely determined person and seems to have a lot of his life mapped out with plans to attend culinary school, which is not something you normally hear of in a 14-year-old. And just so he knows, if he ever needs a taste tester to experiment with new recipes, I will always be available as the guinea pig. All joking aside, this nominee is someone who I'm going to look back on as one of my first students and think that I am very lucky to have had the opportunity to teach them. Devin McDonald, thank you for being an awesome student and an even more awesome person. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Nicole Avanzato.
Hi, I'm going to read a couple of awards tonight. First, I'm going to read for Mrs. Forte, who couldn't be here. I'm not going to do it in a British accent. I could, but I'm not. All right. So, who could it be? Let's see. It is with great pleasure that I present Mrs. Forte's Greyhound Gala Award to this fine young man who has continued to grow both academically and socially throughout the year. Every day, the student comes to class with such enthusiasm and a wonderful attitude. He always asks me how my day is going and is polite and respectful toward me as well. His high energy, readiness to learn, and classroom participation is a delight to witness. He has the ability to bring the whole class into the discussion and constantly asks awesome questions about the math we are doing. When he is struggling, he will always ask for further clarification. He often asks the what-if question and is always thinking ahead. He has insightful ideas about the math taking place and keeps us all on our toes every day. I have never seen him unhappy, and he always brings a positive attitude to the classroom. The characteristics he possesses for math are amazing. Jack Bond, it has truly been a pleasure having you as a student this year. Continue working hard and being inquisitive and being you. Best of luck in high school. Okay, now on me. As is the case every year, I had a difficult time choosing my Greyhound Gala student because so many of our students are so fantastic. As I was narrowing down my decision, I kept going back to a student who is a quiet and calm presence in my, let's just say, excitable 16-17 class. I have never heard this student say an unkind word, and he asks insightful, meaningful questions and provides enlightened feedback during class discussions. In addition, this student has consistently improved his writing by taking my feedback and not only correcting and revising the piece we were working on, but applying my suggestions to subsequent pieces as well. In addition, this student is an original and exceptional artist, and I always look forward to seeing the creative doodles on his folder and his extraordinary submissions to Paw Prints Literary Magazine. Logan Safranek, you are a true original, and it has been a joy to be your teacher this year. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Diane Brown to announce our next nominee.
Buenas noches. Gracias. My Greyhound Gala nominee possesses many outstanding attributes. In order to let him know why I believe he is so deserving of this special award, I have written a name poem using his letters of his Spanish name. The poem is in Spanish, but I will translate for those of you who don't speak it. Jamás mastica chicle en la clase de español, pues casi nunca. He never chews gum in Spanish class, well, almost never. Es un estudiante muy amable y sincero. He's a very nice and sincere student. A él le gusta escuchar la música de Selena. He likes to listen to the music of Selena. A él le gusta already read that one. Tiene mucho respeto para nuestra escuela, sus amigos y sus maestros. He has a lot of respect for our school, his friends, and his teachers. Es inteligente y muy trabajador. He's intelligent and very hardworking. Tiene un buen sentido del amor y siempre grita, "Hola, señorita Brown," cuando me ve. He has a very good sense of humor and always yells, "Hi, Señorita Brown," when he sees me in the hallways. Estoy muy orgullosa de su éxito como presidente de la clase de 2022. I'm very proud of his success as president of the class of 2022. Before I announce my gala, although I know he knows who he is, I have to tell everyone that I've been practicing his last name for a week. I've asked other teachers, I've asked fellow students, and have tried slyly to ask him without him knowing why I was asking him. So I'm proud to announce that my 2018 Greyhound Gala Award winner, and let me know if I get it right, is Jonathan Juanito Bucari. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jean Conover to announce our next nominee.
Good evening, everyone. I see some of my students' faces. I'm very happy. As a Chinese language teacher who is a Chinese native, I keep telling my 7th graders since the first day of school, remember what did I say? I like hardworking students because hard work is the key when learning a foreign language as challenging as Chinese. To my great delight, my Greyhound nominee tonight is the kind of student that lives up to this expectation with his positive attitude, admirable working ethic, and superb dedication to practice the language in all aspects. He embraces all challenges in speaking, reading, listening, and writing, and he has definitely made the best of his first 2 years of Chinese language study with me. So I'd like to express my gratitude tonight to Adam Zhang. For making me smile every day during Chinese class with his wonderful enthusiasm in the language and for setting himself as a true leader that continuously influences the others around him. Congratulations, Zheng He! And I'm very happy to share with you that I'm going to have his younger sister next year. All right. It's my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Janine Conti to announce the next nominee.
When I began thinking about the Greyhound Gala Award, my nominee immediately came to mind. He is kind, he is helpful, he is bright, he is hardworking, he is responsible. He truly encapsulates the concept of a successful student. But even more than that, he shows an enthusiasm for education that goes beyond the classroom. He truly enjoys learning and continues thinking about and discussing topics far after the lesson has ended. To my Greyhound Gala nominee, thank you for the thoughtful discussions and interesting insights. You've been a true pleasure to teach, and I know your drive will lead you to success in your future. Pravik Patel. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my favorite teacher, Mrs. Victoria Cuneo, to announce our next nominee.
Thank you for being short. I've had the pleasure of working with this student for 2 years now, and I've really enjoyed watching him mature. When I first met him, he was the typical 7th grader. He was uncertain and a little bit anxious about everything. Over time, he not only became accustomed to the routines and what was expected of him, but he also gained a significant amount of self-confidence. It has been a real pleasure watching him make decisions on his own and learning to trust himself. I'm certain I'm not the only teacher who appreciates his ever-present smile and his sense of humor. I appreciate his excellent manners and his respectful attitude in the classroom. Another thing I enjoy about this student, and this is significant, is that he is an Eagles fan. In this part of New Jersey, that's not always a given. It's gratifying to see that he knows what is important in life. This is just another indication of his unique ability to make the right decisions. I know I will not be the only middle school teacher to miss him when he moves up to the high school. I wish him well. My Greyhound Gala student is Logan Stewart. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Matthew Doyle to announce our next nominee.
All right, not short. I'm skipping around because I'm also reading for Miss Yost, so I'll read hers first. Throughout the school year, this student has exemplified the meaning of the word diligence. This student demonstrated 100% effort to follow through with a task. This student quietly excelled in all of her assignments. As one who could easily be overlooked because of her graceful, soft-spoken demeanor, she set personal academic goals and persisted to make sure these goals were achieved. This student was persistent to pay attention to details and remained curious throughout any readings, double-checking her work, and asking questions to clarify. Her pleasant and polite demeanor made her a pleasure to have in class. She was always willing to help distribute Chromebooks or lead a small group discussion. Other students should follow the example of Callista Bechtold, my Greyhound Gala. All right, back to me. All right. When it came time to select a gala student, few stuck out more in my head than my nominee. Some nominees are chosen because of a love for a subject area they share with the teacher, while others are chosen because of a particular character trait. I chose my nominee for a variety of reasons. In my 12 years of teaching, I have seldom had an 8th grader as witty and perceptive about our content. My nominee makes connections between past events and current ones with ease and presents them with a dry sense of humor that, although sometimes is lost on his peers, always manages to entertain me. If you ask my nominee why he was nominated, he will probably say, "Who knows?" But that's what makes him so funny. I could not let my nominee leave Northern Burlington Middle School without understanding that he is appreciated. This is for his wit and wisdom beyond his years, and for the many laughs he's given me this year. I want to congratulate Justin Scheller as my Greyhound Gala. presenting our next award, Ms. Natalina Fuccarelli.
I am lucky enough this year to have had this student in 2 of my classes where every day he lights up the room. This student is someone who is so involved in all aspects of school, whether it be student congress as our school president or a multitude of sports teams. What I admire most about this student is his kindness towards others and his willingness to go out of his way to help anyone. Every day I look forward to hearing his stories and, of course, his funny jokes, most at my expense. As his English teacher, I have watched his writing abilities improve so much this year, and his confidence has continued to grow with every obstacle that he has overcome. I'm extremely proud to be his teacher, and I'm so excited to hear about all of his continued success in the future, because I know without a doubt it will be bright. You have truly helped to make my first year of teaching one I will never forget. And for all of this, my Greyhound Gala recipient is Clark Norway. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Rachel Friedman to announce our next nominee.
Before I do my speech, I'll be introducing the nominee for Jill Borman. My Greyhound Gala nominee arrives to class every morning with a happy good morning and offers to put the day's schedule on the board. He finds a way to make his classmates smile from motivational Mondays all the way to fun Fridays. He never complains about anything and is always willing to help out. My nominee is a computer whiz kid. He knows just about everything there is to know when it comes to computers. He is my go-to kid when I hit the wrong key and mess up the entire smartboard. I just call out his name and he comes right up to the smartboard or the computer and hits the magic key for me. He is a Kahoot master and even offers to be the teacher for the lesson when we are using Kahoot and sits at the teacher's desk while doing so. My nominee has improved more than I could have ever hoped for. The stories he creates in his journals are always exciting to listen to and grab everyone's attention. He went from writing 4 sentences in his journal last year to stories with long chapters. He asks to skip computerized learning time to work on writing his stories. My nominee will always help a friend in need, try his absolute hardest at all times, and tries to make me proud and always succeeds. I have been truly blessed for having my nominee in my class. Thank you, John Alcalde, I believe is how you say it, for making this year special for me and Roger. And now I'm Rachel Friedman again. I would say that I was proud of this student for everything she has accomplished this year, but that would be like taking ownership for her hard work and dedication. With a work ethic like none I've ever seen, this student did not cease to amaze me all year. She is her own greatest critic, being discouraged by B's and accepting nothing less than A's. Oh, and did I mention she only started speaking English 8 months ago? She comes to class with a smile every day and participates in class as often as she can, something I'm not sure I could do if I was in her position. And just to put myself in her shoes for a moment or two and push past the fear of speaking in an unfamiliar language aloud, I will be doing the rest of my speech in French. Cet étudiant est gentil, travailleur, et exemplaire de ce que tous nos étudiants devraient espérer être. Je suis fière d'être son professeur et reconnaissante de l'avoir connu. L'élève que je suis ce soir est Kaja Teresa Germain. If she were here, it would have been a little more impactful with the French. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. David Galera to announce our next nominee.
Good evening. My name is Mr. Galera and I teach English. However, tonight I would love to give you a brief history lesson. This item originated among Croatian mercenaries during the 30 Years' War of the 17th century. The Croatian mercenaries used the fabric around their neck to hold the opening of their shirts together. The item was soon adopted by the upper classes in France and flourished in the 18th and 19th centuries. However, it has slowly made a comeback in the recent years. Any guesses? Well, so tonight, I would like to honor a student who may need no introduction at all. For the past 2 years, we have all been witness to a bold fashion statement. As there have been only a handful of days that my Greyhound Gala nominee has not worn a bow tie to school, which you didn't wear one today. Well, that gives it away, doesn't it? Anyway, so you may say, why you give it a rest with this bow tie business? But I will not, for I see it more than just a fashion statement. The bow tie is a representation of a commitment and dedication. It is a symbol of confidence and acceptance of oneself, and it is an example to others that we all have unique characteristics, and my Greyhound Gala is not afraid to embrace his. He exceeds expectations in everything he sets his mind to, while continually helping others to do their best as well. He treats others with kindness and respect, and in turn, he too has gained the respect and admiration of others. There's not a student in the middle school who does not know the kid with the bow tie. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Timothy Sandor. Hey, buddy. And Ms. Gibbs will be presenting the next award.
The student I honor today embodies what teachers and parents envision as an ideal student. I have known this student for 2 years. She came to Northern last year and worked hard to fit into the community. She has handled the move to Northern with courage and grace. She has proven to be strong in her studies and as a part of many extracurricular activities. This year, she has had achievements in field hockey, cheerleading, and lacrosse, in addition to outstanding academic achievement. Her academic success includes making the honor roll and earning Student of the Month. She has achieved all of this while maintaining high levels of involvement in her school community and social engagement with peers that is positive and supportive. I have never heard an unkind word about her and have heard positive praise from staff and peers. Her future is bright, and I predict that in life, she will always be part of the solution and never part of the problem. She has tremendous leadership qualities, compassion for others, and a competitive spirit. My Greyhound Gala student is Trinity Bornowski. Now it is my pleasure to introduce the man that needs no introduction, Mr. Robert Goldstein, to announce our next nominee.
How's everybody doing? Good? All right. I've known my gala recipient for a very long time. He used to run around at dances when he was a little kid, gave me high fives, and helped me chaperone. But this is not why I nominated him. The reason why he is sitting here tonight is because of who he is, what he represents, and his perseverance to overcome obstacles in life. Here is the who and the what. My gala recipient was a student in my 7th grade computer class and always strived to do his very best. A pleasure to have in class. He also worked at the campus store. He didn't just work, he managed. He possessed all the skills necessary in making the campus store amazing. Leadership, self-starter, decision maker, team player. The list can go on. And so does his height. My gala recipient was shorter than me when he started 7th grade. Laughter from the audience. He is not just an amazing student and worker, but an amazing athlete as well. I would not want to be at bat when he is at the mound. I would like to leave my gala recipient with this quote. Whenever you find yourself doubting how far you can go, just remember how far you have come. Remember everything you have faced, all the battles you have won, and all the fears you have overcome. Congratulations, Ricardo, Richie Brown, Luden. I am so proud of you. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Kristen Henry to announce our next nominee. Thank you.
If you ask a teacher why he or she got into this profession, many of us will tell you it's those light bulb moments, those times when you're exploring an idea and students suddenly get it. A virtual light bulb comes on over their head. My gala nominee has moments that are beyond light bulbs, more like floodlights. In the beginning of the year, this student was hesitant to volunteer in class and probably wished for the bell to ring to end class every minute. At one point, this person told me that science just wasn't her thing. To her credit, she stuck to it, asking questions for clarification and making sure she understood new ideas. That persistence paid off. Today, you can find her squirming in her seat, wanting to add to our discussions. She is a true leader in her class and her lab group, willing to listen to others and help her lab partners understand more fully. Her eagerness to learn and her drive to succeed are exhilarating to watch. With such talent, this student is bound to achieve great things in the future. I'm so very, very proud of my amazing student, Julia Dudley. And now it is my pleasure to introduce my friend, Mr. Jason Hoy, to announce the next recipient.
While my nominee is incredibly knowledgeable and driven, the most impressive quality that I see in her is the way she collaborates with other students. She does not simply develop a plan to divide up the work to make her life easier. Instead, she uses collaboration to further her understanding and that of her classmates. She will locate examples and occasionally develop her own when she feels that her classmates do not completely grasp the content. She works tirelessly throughout each class period, and the impact goes far beyond her own grade. While my nominee is modest and soft-spoken, she's a true leader and inspires me to be a better teacher each and every day. It is my privilege to select Alma Alex as my Greyhound Gala nominee. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Shannon Hughes to announce our next nominee.
Good evening. When choosing a student for the Greyhound Gala, a teacher might consider someone who demonstrates great character, gets excellent grades, is a positive role model, or simply tries their best. Those considerations describe many of my students, so I consider myself lucky that I got to dig a little deeper for my Greyhound Gala nominee. I considered students who have excelled in the band program, who have participated in multiple ensembles, and who have constantly contributed to making our bands better. I started thinking about the students who bring out the best qualities in not only their peers, but in me as a teacher. I thought about the students who are positive contributors to any situation, and the students who have been motivated to tackle every challenge. My Greyhound Gala nominee has shown genuine dedication and enthusiasm toward music, and I've gotten to see him develop a passion and appreciation for the arts. This person makes band a memorable experience for his peers and for me. He knows how to motivate the people around him, and he has sent good vibes by crossing his fingers on one hand while playing his instrument with the other. He even brought me a lightsaber to conduct with on Star Wars Day. I don't know if you realize this, but Star Wars Day, May the 4th, is also National Tuba Day. Rather than having students for just a quarter, a semester, or a year, I'm one of the few teachers to have students for the entire time they're in middle school. For this, I consider myself lucky, especially when I get to work with musicians as wonderful as our resident tuba player, Josh Porter. Are you okay? And now it is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Cassie Kalzik to announce our next nominee.
Grumpy, happy, sleepy, bashful, sneezy, dopey, and Doc. The 7 dwarfs of the famous Walt Disney story. These unlikely heroes were full of surprises, just like my gala nominee. It may seem strange to have a student remind one of the 7 dwarfs. However, this person does. Oftentimes sleepy, sometimes grumpy, yet with happiness lurking just underneath. And just like Doc, always willing to help. I have come to know this unlikely hero while observing him during times of struggle and challenge. I have had the pleasure of seeing a wonderful transformation occur. I truly believe that my nominee is a strong, intelligent person with a bright future ahead, and someone that will not be too shy to rock this particular item tomorrow. It is with great pleasure that I give the Greyhound Gala Award to Michael Falkowski. All right, rocking that tomorrow. All right. It is now with great pleasure that I introduce Mrs. Lexi Canuck to announce our next nominee.
Good evening. As teachers, we strive to encourage our students to be confident and to demonstrate ways they can be successful. Along the way, students inspire me, and if I'm lucky, teach me. I have forever been changed by my nominee. He is a model student, a leader, not outwardly so, but exhibits qualities that other students take notice of. He always works hard, perseveres, and never shows any frustration. This student is willing to take on any question, learn any concept, no matter how difficult, and is eager to help others toward their own understanding. Those around him may never know how much heartbreak he has endured over the past couple years, because of his strong and resilient exterior. He is very much a friend that others can rely on, and I know through our many conversations that he is the difference this world needs. I teach to try to make an impact in my students' lives, but sometimes it happens the other way around. My Greyhound Gala nominee has greatly impacted me and shown me that as long as you work hard every day, you will be successful. I know this student is destined for a bright future, and I will miss our conversations, but look forward to hearing about his infinite future endeavors. Congratulations, Jacob Hanley. It is now my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ryan Lafferty to announce our next nominee.
Good evening, Greyhounds. Still awake, good. Always halfway through when you get to Lafferty. So it's really good to see all of you tonight, and thanks for coming out. I love doing this. I love giving recognition to these wonderful students. I wish we could do this even more often, but you know what? It's special to us, and we enjoy the opportunity to have this separate recognition for achievement. For hundreds of years, the Lafferty family has lived with the motto, Fortuna Favet Fortibus. It's a reminder that fortune favors the bold or the strong. Bold is the word that first comes to mind when I think of my Greyhound Gala nominee. He is not only a good student, but a creative thinker, an imaginative explorer, and a consistent voice in my classroom. His bravery allows others to feel confident while sharing in class and offering a unique insight into subtext and meaning beyond the obvious. It is with great pride that I announce my 2018 Gala nominee, Mr. Dylan Griggs. Great kid. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ryan Lazinski to announce our next nominee.
One of the most rewarding aspects of teaching is watching the academic growth of students from September to June. I've had the pleasure not only teaching this student, but also coaching him for 2 years. The student shows great leadership skills inside and outside of the classroom, and his athletic abilities mixed with his continuing academic accomplishments prove that Garrett Totten will be a student I will never forget teaching. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Michelle Lapari.
It's hard to put into words why I've chosen my nominee because there are so many reasons to list. Mostly you have to know him to see what I mean. What I most admire about my nominee is his ability to rise as a leader in groups even when he is not working with familiar faces. As a teacher, I most appreciate his strong work ethic. He is personable, kind, intelligent, and makes friends easily. He is trustworthy, stands up for others, and is involved in a variety of extracurricular activities. Simply put, he is the type of student I wish my own children will grow up to be. If you don't believe me, stop by the school store and look for the Employee of the Month, Quinn Burrow. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Lori Marchetti to announce our next nominee.
Good evening. My selection for the Greyhound Gala Award was quite easy this year, as my nominee possesses an extensive list of positive attributes and skills. My nominee is inquisitive,
and insightful, thorough and precise, motivated and persistent. Each day, she brings to class a sense of appreciation and joy for learning, coupled with a passion for life. She will clearly be successful in wherever life leads her. Thank you, Kaylin O'Neill, for being such a positive force in the classroom. You have been such a pleasure to teach and to know. And now Colleen Martin is here to introduce the next nominee.
Good evening. It has been a pleasure to know my gala nominee for the past 2 years. And for 2 years, I've watched this student brighten everyone's day with their positive attitude. When I make a corny joke or do something weird, which happens very frequently, I can always count on this student to laugh with me, even when no one else does. At least once a week, I've watched them literally dance like no one's watching. And on countless occasions, I've seen this person push past their comfort zone and achieve amazing things. And in addition to this student's many talents, she's one of the kindest, funniest, and most hardworking people I know. Although I will be devastated to see her go, I can't wait to see all that my gala nominee, Elisa Crotty, will accomplish in high school and beyond. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Mrs. Heather McGarrigle to announce our next nominee.
Good evening. I am delighted to be able to present for my first time at the Greyhound Gala Awards ceremony as a teacher at Northern. When I made the decision to participate, I was wondering how I would ever be able to choose a student. One, when you have 130 students that fill your classroom throughout the day, how could you expect one to stand out from the rest? One student that brightens the day. One student that you know has something extra special. Well, I am fortunate to have been graced by this one student's personality and infectious smile on a daily basis. Always so pleasant and genuinely happy. She exhibits a love for learning, is inquisitive, generous, intelligent, and is always putting forth her best effort. She is respectful of her teachers and classmates. She helps struggling students and always has a positive attitude and willingness to participate in class. I am certain this student's hardworking and kind spirit will afford her with a tremendous amount of opportunities in this world. I hope you seize each opportunity with grace and perseverance. It has been a pleasure being your teacher this year, and I thank you for making my day a little brighter. My Greyhound Gala choice this year goes to Shmithia Tadasina. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Robin McLean to announce our next nominee.
Each year, I'm fortunate to work with a dedicated group of young people who are gaining career, life, and leadership skills as FFA members. Picking a Greyhound Gala recipient is no easy feat. My recipient demonstrates both ideas presented in the 2018 National FFA theme. I can, we will. He can find ways to balance his sports, martial arts, and FFA commitments, as well as his academics. He can advocate for what FFA has done for him and doesn't hesitate to share his experiences with others. He also is involved in the we of the organization and the classroom. He contributes as a member of the chapter officer team. He doesn't grumble when he might not like the random selection of a group in class, but works to be part of the we of getting the task done. I can celebrate the achievement of this young man, and I know we will continue to share FFA experiences as he heads to high school. It is my pleasure to recognize my 2018 Greyhound Gala recipient, both a team player and an individual achiever, Nick Lewis. Our next presentation will be by Ms. Kendall Retzbach.
My Greyhound Gala nominee approaches me in the morning with a positive attitude and a warm greeting. Throughout the multiple injuries that he sustained this year, he never let the smile drop from his face. It was during this time, when he would get to my classroom a few minutes early, he would engage me in lively conversation. Whether discussing a wrestling match he won, sparring over La Liga versus Premier League soccer, or chatting about what we were doing that day in apps, his genuine persona and overall warm-hearted nature starts my day off on a great note. He is also a wonderful addition to my classroom. He's not only a good student, but a positive influence on his classmates. Everton Sosa, thank you for putting a smile on my face every day, even when we bicker about Real Madrid and Liverpool. We both know Liverpool is going to crush Real in the Champions League final. In all seriousness, I know you will succeed at whatever you put your mind to. It's truly a pleasure having you in class. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Michael Stino to announce our next nominee.
Good evening. Fun fact, the Greyhound's name is Rick. Now you know. My Greyhound Gala recipient reads books like I take breaths. So I thought I'd introduce this student with a book theme. Tone. Always speaks in a respectful tone. Mood. I'm sure this person has mood changes, but always manages to be pleasant in our class together. Plot. Not someone to be aimless. This person is always has a plan, though I've found it can change sometimes. She often lets me know immediately after that change. But there's always a plan. Rising action. Get out of the way when this person is motivated. There's no stopping the success. Finally, character. This one suits my choice best. Unique and creative. You can't ever forget meeting this person because she's definitely one of a kind. My Greyhound Gala recipient is Maggie Winsinger. And none of you are going to meet her tonight. She's not here tonight with us. Good job, Maggie. High five. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Parvani Sulan to announce our next nominee.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. Each year, we have the incredible opportunity to spend time with and get to know hundreds of students, young people with so much promise and great prospects. It is challenging, to say the least, for us teachers to choose only one to honor and recognize tonight. My nominee is a hidden gem, a calm, confident person who has raised the bar for others. The genuine love of learning and passion to exceed expectations shine through every assignment. a hardworking individual who does not take her intelligence for granted, who is always humble, helpful, and kind to others. A well-rounded, talented, and creative person who plays several instruments, sings, and writes amazing lyrics. I discovered her songwriting ability when she wrote to a Nirvana song for her presentation of Light. My nominee is capable of becoming a scientist, a musician, a singer, a songwriter, or an author. I'm certain that whatever she decides in the future will change our world for the better. It is my privilege to present my Greyhound Gala Award to Ms. Hanover Acosta. Congratulations. Congratulations, Hanover. I wish you a happy future. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Thomas Vraniak to introduce our next nominee.
Hashtag MB Nation was a theme that really stuck with me this year. I believe it describes individuals who are completely dedicated to creating a positive environment in every aspect of their education. I wanted to make sure I picked a person who was proud to be part of MB Nation, and only one name really came to mind. In class, he's a student who always tried to participate and get other kids involved. He even created a little club in my room, and I'm pretty sure they're all still very good friends. I didn't pick this student, though, because of his qualities in the classroom. The reason I'm most proud to have him in MB Nation was the time I got to spend coaching him in wrestling. I saw a maturation this year from a kid who we loved to a kid that we not only loved, but also relied on heavily when the going got tough. He never backed down from a challenge, whether it was wrestling up in a weight class or facing the better of two opponents when we needed a rugged performance. In the true spirit of the nation, he always put the interest of the team ahead of his own goals. I'm proud to be part of MB Nation, knowing that we have students like Chris Biles leading the way, and that is why he's my Greyhound Gala nominee. And now I have the pleasure to introduce Miss Lauren Wooler to announce our next nominee.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. Obviously I'm the last one, so it's not really a secret. In the beginning of the year, during a friendly game of Get to Know You, Would You Rather, this question came up. Would you rather become a highly paid professional athlete or become a world-famous scientist and cure a rare disease? He chose scientist and flipped it to me. His reasoning was quite clear. He wanted to do great things, and I chose athlete, and the look on his face was shocking. Science just really isn't my thing, and women are rarely paid to be professional athletes. But still, I felt like I let him down, and in just a week of knowing him. But from that moment on, I knew that I would be dealing with a non-ELA kid, but I would use the force and mold him into one if it was the last thing I did. As the year progressed, so did we. Mismatch days, nailed them. Hate mismatch day, nailed it. Class discussions that involve scientific input, nailed those too. Quarantine jokes and weirdness, done. I would see him smile and laugh under his breath because he'd figured me out and saw the connections. Small victory. You might be thinking to yourself, well, why does all of this matter? Because as teachers, our first job is to teach to the abilities of our students, and that's not always academic. This year, I was challenged in the best way possible. I taught and learned with the idea of embracing my weird and made my most reserved student smile on many days. And that is the most fulfilling feeling I have experienced as a teacher. Owen Conowitz, thank you for laughing at my corny jokes, even if it was under your breath, and for having a work ethic that makes you try harder, even on the easiest things. That quality will take you far, and I know you will accomplish the greatest things this world will ever see. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, our program is drawing to a close. I want to thank teachers for all their great speeches. I want to congratulate again all our different nominees and for their selection here tonight. You saw them disappear out the side. What's going on out there is we're taking their pictures. People often come to our school and say, where are those pictures from in our foyer? What do they represent? And this is the evening where we take the pictures and we memorialize those students over the next several years here in the middle school. So congratulations on all of your achievements here. Two things struck me as all the speeches were being made and the students were being recognized. First of all, one of the things that came up over and over again, they used different words to describe it, was students who were kind. Looked out for others, put others before themselves, always helped someone out when they needed the help, but just that overall quality of being kind and just how important that is in our society. And also, people who worked hard, people who strove through challenges, gave that extra effort, did the little extra, the hard workers. And I think that is something that we all value in others, people that are kind, people that are willing to make that extra effort and work hard. So those describe all of our nominees here tonight. Congratulations once again. Congratulations to the parents as well. All right, with that, this concludes our program. I invite you to join us for some light refreshments in the back. Thank you for coming out tonight. Have a good evening. Drive safely.